She never reached out. And the last time that Jasmine even spoke to either one of them was just through a phone call. And they had apparently shown very little interest or care, which realistically, they probably didn't even understand who she was or why she was calling them and why she wanted to talk with them. They had lived at this house now for years. Their core memories growing up would be in that house. Even my kids, I have a 3.5 and a 5-year-old, and sometimes when I ask them about if they remember somebody or like an old babysitter or something like that from 2 years ago even, or old schoolmates from their old school, usually they don't, because they're at such a young age that, sometimes they remember certain things, but it's often times that they don't. So the whole situation had kind of become this really easy way out. She didn't have to parent anymore. She hardly ever found the time to call. She never visited with them. And she also never provided Alicia and Ivan with any sort of money for the girls, despite knowing that they had now gone from 4 little mouths to feed to 6. Now, I also have to mention, it hasn't really been a topic of conversation about what Ivan or Alicia did for work. It's been said that Ivan did serve in the Marines at one point, but that's kind of it. And what was a huge topic of conversation, however, was a TikTok account that was run by Alicia, because her bio claimed that she was this beauty influencer. Though, I'm not trying to throw shade, but to be honest, there really aren't a lot of, makeup videos on there. It didn't really seem like that was the case. But her biological children were shown a lot in some of these videos for just short periods of time, here and there. But what was interesting was Adena and Athena never made an appearance. Not at all. Not throughout her aspiring career of beauty influencer, TikToker, which ended up having about 3,000 followers. But the other kids would come in and out of the videos, but Adena and Athena never would. Now, regardless, January 10th, 2023 was the beginning of what would become a massive headline news story and truly a heartbreaking discovery. Because on that day, a postal worker was just doing their normal routine, just kind of delivering the mail, when they noticed a young child outside wandering alone. Now, this child was 5-year-old Adena. And the postal workers' red flags immediately started going up, right? First of all, it was a very cold day in January. And even without knowing her exact age, it was pretty apparent that this little girl was too small, too little to just be walking around outside in the cold by herself. And I gotta say, this post worker was like some kind of guardian angel, like a different type of guardian angel, because they listened to their gut and they decided to approach this little girl and to also call the authorities, which it never hurts to have somebody just check. And especially that proved to be true in this case, right? Because what started as a quick call down to the local police station before continuing their mail route, it was literally what led to a massive discovery and possibly even saved Adena's life. When the postal worker approached her and asked Adena, what are you doing outside? What's going on? She said that she was hungry. She said that she was tired of being alone, and she also said that she missed her sister. Now, not knowing anything about the situation or the background, the worker basically just kept talking to her, made sure that she was safe until the authorities would come in and take over. But they knew that something was wrong. And what the authorities discovered when they finally arrived at the home of 225 West Nebraska Avenue, it was shocking, to say the least. It turns out that Adena had told this worker that, like I said, she was tired of being alone, and the reason she said that is because she was exactly that. She was alone. Although it wasn't something that they discovered until a little bit later, but Ivan had fled the state, and he had taken his 4 biological children with him. They fled from Oklahoma to Arizona. Meanwhile, Alicia, the mother of those children, had been on, quote, a romantic getaway with a new man entirely, a guy named Blayton Davis. And she had been gone from this house for almost an entire week. So the fact that a 5-year-old had been left completely home alone was, of course, a huge concern in and of itself, but even more concerning was the fact that she was also saying she missed her sister.